It's been one of those weeks where you think you're getting everything done and you just keep getting stopped by something else. Just everything just piles up on you. It's been crazy, but it hasn't been a bad thing.
Yeah, I understand that.
You know how it works. Sometimes just life just decides to keep knocking you around a little bit.
That's it. You think you're going to knock out some stuff off the to-do list, and then it just keeps getting crazier.
Yeah, that's how it worked for me.
I understand.
Nothing bad, but that's how it worked.
Yep. Craziness.
Everything good in your world?
All is well, indeed.
That is a good thing.
Heck yeah. I am trying to see, and then we'll do a quick audio check here in a minute, but I'm trying to see.
All right.
How I'm supposed to do this. I'm trying to get the live stream that we're currently doing and trying to put it on the website from YouTube, and I don't know what thing they're supposed to be talking about here. Oh, hold on.
Oh.
Wait. Analytics. Is it the shareable link URL? I wonder.
Try it.
We'll try it. Let's see.
What's the worst that can happen?
Exactly, right? Nope, that says invalid URL, so that is not the right one. All right, let's go over here. This is why I need a producer in person here, because I don't know how to do this crap.
I am not that. I'm not website savvy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what I need. I need a web designer is what I actually need. All right, you know what? Well, we're just not going to worry about it because whatever. It's okay. They can find us on other places. Let's do some audio checks here, shall we?
I'm ready.
All right, I'm coming in loud and clear. Okay, not too hot.
Absolutely, that's great.
Okay, we got this one.
So I would love more accuracy.
Yeah.
Stoke a civil war.
Okay.
All right.
I got that. Yeah, welcome back to the program. Great to have. There's that.
Beautiful.
And then
it's your week in review.
Yeah.
There we
All
are.
right, that was tactical. We're good to go.
We are tactical. By the way, your beef jerky should be on the way to you here shortly.
Sweet. I'm ready. I'm excited.
Heck yeah, man. I talked with him a couple days ago, and he said, yep, send me his address. We'll get it sent out.
All right. Well, tell them thank you very much.
Heck yeah, man. Have you tried some of that? I'm telling you, man, you're going to get addicted.
Well, and I've already got enough beef jerky addiction, but that's okay. If that's the worst addiction I have, I'm good.
You'll take it. That's right.
I'll take it. Because do you all have a Buc-ee's up there? Or have you heard of that? I don't know. I don't know if that thing's nationwide or what.
Yeah, I know of Buc-ee's. I don't remember if we've actually had one around or not. I don't see one on a regular basis. No.
Well, they've got garlic beef jerky, and I'm in love with that stuff. The only thing that stops me is the traffic is so poor up there that I won't go to it very often.
Gotcha. Okay.
But that's probably a good thing because I would be homeless if I did.
Taking out a mortgage for the beef jerky.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Good times. All right. We got a lot to talk about today. Oh, man. People starting to jump on the audio streams. What's up, guys? We are going to be starting the radio program momentarily, so hang tight. Hang tight. Oh, and we are video streaming. I should probably check. We are video streaming on our YouTube page, but also on 930 The Answer TV down in San Antonio, Texas. We're broadcasting live.
San Antonio.
Yeah, down on their YouTube channel. Let's see. It is. Look at that. So
awesome.
we are broadcasting there. So
we're going to be famous.
We're going to be famous.
Your SRN program begins in 60 seconds.
All right, coming up on the program this hour, we have Carol Lieberman, Dr. Carol Lieberman. She is known as America's Psychiatrist. The Terrorist Therapist podcast is her show, and we'll chat with her about all the violent protests going on, the radicalism going on in the nation, the pushback against ICE, the ongoing hatred against ICE up in Minneapolis. So let's break down some of that scenario. Also, Donald Trump making some news this weekend about how he could potentially take over Greenland. Yeah, we'll get to some of that and more. Make sure to like it out, share it out, leave that comment, say hi, welcome aboard. Let's have some fun today for a weekend edition of The Voice of Reason. Hang tight.
Your SRN program begins in 10 seconds. Your SRN program will begin in 5, 4.
Broadcasting from the heart of the nation in the Hooser Media Network studios. The next generation in conservative talk radio. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Oh, yes, it is. What is up, my friends? Welcome into it. It is your Voice of Reason's weekend edition. Hey, it is great to have you along for the ride as usual. Holy cow. We are now 2 weeks into, I'm going to do a countdown every week, right? 2 weeks into 2026. You're back into the groove of things. That's exciting. But it is finally starting to be winter time. We're seeing some cold weather, Kansas at least, where I'm based out of our flagship here at the Hooser Media Network studios. 19 degrees this weekend. So I'm chalking that up as a victory, man. I'm finally starting to see where we're supposed to be. Maybe it's a tease of us with the climate we're about to experience when we take over Greenland. You think that'll happen? Well, hey, you never know. You never know. And that's where we're going to go to with the program today. First and foremost, as usual, welcome into it. It is The Voice of Reason. My name is Andy Hooser, broadcasting out of the heart of the nation in Wichita, Kansas at the Hooser Media Network studios. But we are all over the country. So many great radio affiliates doing our thing like we do every single weekend.
We'll do it live.
That's right here on the program. Coming up, bottom of the hour, we have Dr. Carol Lieberman on the show. She is America's psychiatrist. She's also host of the Terrorist Therapist podcast. We'll chat with her about some of the violence going on, the violence that is ramping up in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the anti-ICE protests that are happening up there. Watch ICE, that continue to just be a nuisance with federal law enforcement operating federal law enforcement operations. I know you would think that you just kind of stay out of their way and let them do their thing, but no, we're taking it to a whole new level. So we'll get to some of that and more with Dr. Carol Lieberman at the bottom of the hour. First and foremost, our great producer Dave down in Dallas, Texas. What's up, brother? Great to have you. We have Trumpy Bear, our executive producer here on the program, sitting in studio with me. And of course, we have Cornelius, the intern, the green-headed alien, standing behind me, watching me as we continue to do our thing like we do each and every weekend. If you want more information on the show, find us on our website, HooserReason.com, HOOSER Reason.com. Our social media has the exact same handle. And if you want the podcast of the show, which I highly recommend you go and check out, just type in The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser on any of your favorite podcasting sites, because you get this show, the weekday show, and everything else that we do, which is really awesome. All right, plenty to get to this weekend. In fact, some breaking news that happened early on Saturday with Donald Trump. Man, I thought this was a joke when it first came out at the early part of the administration, but Donald Trump has doubled down, triple down, and quadruple down now on what he wants to do with the latest What's Trending story.
What's trending today?
With a new tweet or a Truth Social that Donald Trump has sent out early Saturday morning saying that he is not giving up on taking over Greenland. Now, he is apparently his team has come up with a valuation of the country of Greenland at near $700 billion, which, if I believe correctly, that's more than the GDP of the nation of Denmark as a whole. So, I mean, you're paying more than what the value of even Denmark is worth for this nation of Greenland because Donald Trump really, really, really wants it. Now, again, I thought it was a joke at the beginning, and we've spent a lot of time on the program discussing Greenland and whether it's a value, not a value, why we're even trying to go as hard as we are to get this nation. I understand there's a lot of potential natural resources. I understand that it's really close to kind of have a better eye on Russia and China and be involved over in that region. I understand all the benefits, but there's got to be something else going on that we're not aware of on why Donald Trump wants it really bad. Or it's just the fact that Donald Trump wants something, he was told no, and he's going to figure out a way to get it because he doesn't like being told no. He's a real estate Mongol that wants to make a business deal, and when he's turned down from a business deal, it's almost like an ego check on him that he doesn't necessarily like because he was turned down for a real estate deal. I mean, maybe Dave, jump on here for just a moment. Do you see that scenario? Because I understand the value of Greenland, but if Denmark and Greenland themselves have told us no repeated times, there's got to be something else going on almost at a personal level of why Donald Trump has doubled down so bad as he has, right?
I do not totally understand the whole thing, really. It's the natural resources, and I think it's something to do with Homeland Security, but I'm not sure.
Well, that's what he's saying. That's the argument that he's making, and he sent out a really long truth that we'll get to in just a minute. But he's saying that this is a national security issue. There's very little national defense there, which he jokes about 2 dog sleds that are defending the entire island, which is kind of funny. And since then, to the point where Denmark has been so adamant of saying no, of Donald Trump taking over Greenland, that now we have France, we have Sweden, we have the Netherlands, we have Denmark, we have a whole bunch of EU and NATO nations that are now sending troops up to Greenland, according to a Danish reporter that was as of Wednesday, Thursday this week. And they say, and this is an air quote, they say that this is for military training. But I got to be honest. I mean, it's a sheet of ice. I don't know why you would do military training on the sheet of ice unless you're planning military operation in that type of climate and environment. So unless you're preparing for something that may happen in Greenland, I don't know why you're sending a whole bunch of military. I will say the U.S. does have a military base there. We've had one since the early 1900s. We used to have close to 10,000 soldiers up there. Now I believe we have roughly 200. And Denmark pointed that out during their conversation, or earlier this week as we cover some of the what's trending.
It's your week in review.
We had the sit down with Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and the ambassador to the U.S. from Denmark and the Prime Minister of Greenland all sitting down together, where they came out of it, and the Denmark ambassador, the Prime Minister of Greenland, making a very bold statement saying, hey, we're not giving up this nation of Greenland. However, they do bring up some good points where we can work on some national security issues to try and put at bay the concerns about the threats of China or Russia taking over this area.
The discussions focus on how to ensure the long-term security in Greenland. And here our perspectives continue to differ, I must say. The President has made his view clear, and we have a different position. We, the Kingdom of Denmark, continue to believe that also the long-term security of Greenland can be ensured inside the current framework, the 1951 agreement on the defense of Greenland, as well as the NATO treaty. For us, ideas that would not respect territorial integrity of the Kingdom of Denmark and the right of self-determination of the Greenlandic people are, of course, totally unacceptable. And we therefore still have a fundamental disagreement, but we also agree to disagree. And therefore we will, however, continue to talk. We have decided to form a high-level working group to explore if we can find a common way forward. The group, in our view, should focus on how to address the American security concerns, while at the same time respecting the red lines of the Kingdom of Denmark. We expect that such a group will meet for a first time within a matter of weeks.
All right, so a new committee between all of them getting together, figuring out how to beef up military resistance against the potential threats of China and Russia in the nation of Greenland. Apparently, that's not enough. When Donald Trump heard that, he was like, no, that's not going to fly. I want this nation, period, end of story. This is a tweet that was sent out, or I guess a truth that was sent out early on Saturday morning this weekend, and it's a long one, so bear with me. He says, we have subsidized Denmark and all of the countries of the European Union and others for many years by not charging them tariffs or any other forms of remunerations. Now, after centuries, it is time for Denmark to give back. World peace is at stake. China and Russia want Greenland, and there is not a thing that Denmark can do about it. They currently have 2 dog sleds as protection, one added recently. I love that trolling, by the way. Hilarious. Only the United States of America under President Donald J. Trump can play in this game, and very successfully at that. Nobody will touch this sacred piece of land, especially since the national security of the United States and the world at large is at stake. On top of everything else, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Finland have all journeyed to Greenland. for purposes unknown. Well, according to them, they say it's for quote-unquote military training. But that's what they say. This is a very dangerous situation for safety, security, and survival of our planet. These countries who are playing this very dangerous game have put a level of risk in play that is not tenable or sustainable. Therefore, it is imperative that in order to protect global peace and security, strong measures be taken so that this potentially perilous situation end quickly and without hesitation. Starting on February 1st, 2026, all of the above-mentioned countries, Denmark, he says in parentheses, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Finland will be charged a 10% tariff on any and all goods sent to the United States of America. On June 1st, the tariffs will be increased to 25%. This tariff will be due to and payable until such time as a deal is reached for the complete and total purchase of Greenland. He's not backing down. Golly, the United States has been trying to do this transaction for over 150 years. He continues on, many presidents have tried, and for good reason, but Denmark has always refused. Now, because of the Golden Dome, the modern-day weapon system, both offensive and defensive, the need to acquire is especially important. Hundreds of billions of dollars are currently being spent on security programs having to do with, quote, the Dome, included for the potential protection of Canada, and this very brilliant but highly complex system can only work at its maximum potential and efficiency because of the angles, meets, and bounds if the land is included in it. The United States of America is immediately open to negotiation with Denmark and or any of these countries that have put so much at risk, despite all that we have done for them, including maximum protection over so many decades. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Okay, very long Truth Social. And here's the thing. This might all kind of tie in together and make sense in just a moment. If you remember right now, the argument about tariffs in the first place, all the tariffs that we put on these nations have been questioned and been taken to the Supreme Court. And the argument for these tariffs that the Trump administration is making to the Supreme Court is the fact that it has to do with national security, that it has to do with world peace, that it has to do with the potential threats around the nation, and that it's necessary for this nation to be implementing these tariffs to have stronger relationships, better trade deals, so on and so forth. That's not only economically beneficial, but also militarily and with our adversaries to be in check as well, based on the global economy. And he's trying to tie these all together. And if you look at it through that lens, it makes sense with what he's trying to do. He's trying to tie in the fact that how much of a threat Russia and China are in wanting to take over Greenland. I don't really know. We haven't really heard about that conversation from these nations until recently through Donald Trump. So maybe that's the game that Donald Trump has to play legally in order to justify the tariffs that he's doing with other nations. And saying, hey, there is a serious threat to the United States unless we keep these tariffs in check, not only for the rest of the nations, but also to take over Greenland and impose these tariffs on the nations of the European Union and with countries within NATO in order to take over this piece of land. If it is true with the Iron Dome or the Golden Dome that he wants to implement, that it would be better to have this Arctic land, that makes sense. With the natural resources that Denmark doesn't really utilize, and they don't even know the value of this nation, but yet somehow they still want to keep hold of it, is still a little bit weird to me as well. But there's a lot of different factors at play. Or it could be just the fact that Donald Trump really, really, really wants Greenland. But regardless, there's a lot of other motive behind it. You want to know the conspiracy theory here, Dave? I have a new theory, though. The Arctic predominantly is where we hear about UFO bases, though, right? So, just maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, maybe we could hear something about UFO bases, and he's about ready to take another step with some of the technology and the UFO, ET, extraterrestrial information that we're not aware of as well.
E.T. phone home.
Oh. E.T. phone home. That's the tinfoil hat conspiracy. The rational, logical theory on all this is the fact that this ties in with the tariff debate he's had that's going through the Supreme Court right now. Democrats, members of Congress trying to take away the tariff ability. And here's the thing. It's worked really well in some negotiations. It hasn't quite worked yet in other areas of the country and the world with the tariff negotiations wanting to make better trade deals. We'll see if this brings them to the table. But they've been pretty adamantly no against it so far. We'll see what happens moving forward. Lots more coming up. Stay here.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
When America builds, the world follows. Our energy powered the 20th century. We've set the standard for generations, and we never waited for permission. But now, we're being held back. Outdated rules, endless delays. Without permitting reform, Washington's red tape is slowing us down while other nations race ahead. It doesn't have to be this way. We can clear the way for energy that's affordable, reliable, and built right here. Because what's built here is felt here. Lower costs, more jobs, stronger communities. That's what permitting reform makes possible. Energy didn't just shape our country, it powered the American dream. And with our innovation, we can lead the 21st century. Congress has a choice. Build America's energy future or risk falling behind. Tell Congress, pass permitting reform now.
Hey, did you know that you can have multiple different networks on one single smartphone? Well, with Patriot Mobile, you can. It's time for you to sign up for the Patriot Mobile primary phone plan with plans as low as $15 a month, where you can have 2 numbers and 2 networks on one single phone. And right now, if you sign up using the promo code REASON, you can get an entire month absolutely free. It's the Patriot Mobile One plan. 1 phone, 2 numbers, and 2 networks. And it's all at patriotmobile.com/reason. Again, patriotmobile.com and use the promo code REASON. Miss any part of the show? Well, don't worry. Now's your chance to go find the podcast and listen to as much of the Voice of Reason as you'd like. As the show continues to grow all across the nation with great radio affiliates, we also continue to grow as one of the top conservative podcasts, ranked 5th on the MillionPodcast.com Best 50 Conservative Leadership Podcasts in the nation, and number 1 on FeedSpot.com's
Yes, it did.
shows in the country. The show continues to grow each and every day.
So if Denmark or Greenland's going to cost us that much, what happens if
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? How did 2 guys in a cramped California garage reimagine the phone and put the power of the universe at our fingertips? At Americans for Prosperity, we believe greatness can happen anywhere. We just need freedom and the opportunity to make it real. But today, with a rigid system stifling progress, limiting creativity, and holding us back. That's why at AFP, we offer solutions that tackle the most critical challenges facing our country, so there's nothing standing in the way of America's next breakthrough. Because what we build today doesn't just shape the future, it defines it. How will you be defined? Take your first step today with Americans for Prosperity.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
It's your Patriot on the Prairie. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Yeah, it is. Welcome back into the program. Great to have you as usual for your weekend edition of the show. Again, if you want more information on it, you can go to our website, HooserReason.com. We are working on trying to get our video feed live up on there during the program. We do have the audio feed that is live. We have a chat room, I believe, that's on there too, but you have the links to the social media, links to the podcast, our special features, which you can always go there. We have some really cool special features. Oh, and I keep forgetting to tell you, we have a new thing that you're going to want to download off of our website, right on the homepage at HooserReason.com. Dave, you're going to enjoy this too. We have our 2026 political bingo card of the year. Yeah. Now, oh, thank you. Yeah, see? Now, I want you to go there at HooserReason.com. It's a PDF form. It's right on the homepage. You can download it. You can print it off, put it on your refrigerator. Now, obviously, bingo, you have multiple different bingo cards and whoever wins first. This is one bingo card, but we're going to see how many of the predictions that we make on this program actually come true. So you can go to the website, HooserReason.com, print off the bingo card, and then you can fill it in. It sounds like some of them may actually be happening right now, but different categories are on the different rows between government transparency, upcoming elections, really crazy stuff even, like the government admitting about ETs and UFOs. I don't know. That might happen. So it might happen this year. But it's the 2026 political bingo card, and you can check it out right on our website on the homepage, HooserReason.com. Also, I want to tell you about my friends over at Americans for Prosperity. Not only are we celebrating the 250th birthday, but we're also now, Congress is hopefully working on some health care plans, which Donald Trump kind of threw them a softball earlier this week with his plan for the great, in all in caps, great health care plan. That's what he's calling it. And Congress can start working on some new options, giving you, the consumer, personal options that you need. More opportunity, more options to choose from, better health care coverage. And Americans for Prosperity are all over it. Go to the website, personaloption.com. Personaloption.com. You can sign up completely free, and you can get the information. You can know when and where to put pressure on elected officials, and let's give ourselves more options for better health care in this nation. Get rid of this government garbage with Obamacare and give ourselves some better health care quality at personaloptions.com. All right, so Donald Trump, he is definitely pushing for the aggressiveness of taking over Greenland. And, he's doing it in an interesting way, putting a 10% tariff on all these nations and then jumping up to 25% by June if they do not reach a negotiating table. And I don't know if it's going to go up from there or if he's just going to let it sit and just rake in the money from the tariffs until then. I don't know, but it's a very aggressive move, right?
I'm not being aggressive. I'm being dominant.
Look, he knows what he wants. He's a guy with a mission. He's had almost tunnel vision on this issue for sure. Is it the issue that people want? I don't know. Take the polls with a grain of salt. We have the latest poll from CNN saying that 58% of Americans say that Donald Trump has been focused on the wrong priorities. There's also another poll that shows that Donald Trump, that like 70% of Americans don't want Greenland and don't think we should be taking it. So, but again, people complain about everything until it's done, and then they're happy with it. Just like this year, when the golden age of America starts coming into play with the economy, then you can complain about all the tariffs and everything that Donald Trump's been doing, but the record low gas prices? Dave, I haven't heard anybody complain about record low gas prices lately, have you?
I haven't either.
No, I don't think so. I don't see anybody complaining the fact that egg prices are back down to normal after Joe Biden killing 100 million chickens in the last year of his administration. And then people are like, why are chicken prices and eggs so high? Like that, we're not hearing those kind of complaints any longer. So we complain about the process, but the process so far for Donald Trump has delivered results. And Donald Trump's administration has been the most productive and progressive, like actual progress, getting things done, of any presidential administration in the past century. You may not like it and like what he's doing, but he's getting things done. And you'll benefit from it in the next year here. And I hope that Congress piggybacks on that to codify a lot of it, which will help them win in the upcoming midterm elections that predominantly usually go towards a minority party. But we'll see what happens moving forward. When we come back, we're going to shift gears, get into some of the violence that's going up in Minneapolis, the anti-ICE movements. We'll do that with Dr. Carol Lieberman right around the corner for your weekend edition of The Voice of Reason. Stay here.
This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with The Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left finds new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back. And that's where we can help. Head to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can find our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Let us know your thoughts on current events with different surveys and chat rooms. And keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Plus, when you head to the website, you can always get great deals and different offers from all of our great radio partners. Finally, if you want more of the show, you can find our podcasts with all of our great episodes and your favorite guests. And make sure to check out the latest Voice of Reason infomercials and maybe some other special content. And it's all because of you being part of the Hoosier-holic family. Let's continue to fight for conservative common sense principles together by going to HooserReason.com. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do.
Andy's latest product. it's your Voice of Reason product spokesperson. And if you're like the average progressive socialist in America, the celebration of the end of the Donald Trump presidency is ongoing. The problem is that Joe Biden may not have been the candidate for you to get the things done you wanted to get done.
I'm prepared to say that I have a record of over 40 years and that I'm going to beat Joe Biden.
But now I'm here to say, don't worry. Your concerns about a dementia-ridden racist elite are just minutes away from disappearing with our all-new Voice of Reason product. Now introducing the Voice of Reason's Biden Basement Starter Pack. Now, just 1 year into the Biden administration is the perfect time to get your Biden Basement Starter Pack and finally begin to understand the mind of such an unrecognized genius.
The Biden Basement Starter Pack includes your Joe Biden decoder ring.
Now you can truly understand the secret messages that Joe Biden was really sending to his supporters when other people thought it was just gibberish.
That saves billions of gallons of gasoline. I mean, billions of $2.3 billion worth of, $500 billion in savings and 2-point-something billion metric tons of CO2 going in the air.
Your progressive white supremacy exemption card.
Let's be honest, you're just as much of a racist white supremacist as the evil conservatives that you hate, but with your white supremacy exemption card, you're completely immune from the transparency and accountability of racial comments or thoughts that you may have, giving you more time to focus on destroying Republicans for the evil, closed-minded bigots that you know that they are.
What you all know, but most people don't know, unlike the African-American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community.
In Delaware, the largest growth in population is Indian Americans moving from India. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
Your brand new crisp but $100 bill.
If Nazi Republicans won't let you pass universal basic income, or as we like to call it, child tax credits, the next best thing is a newly printed bill with absolutely zero value. Show it to your right-wing friends and remind them that you're entitled to that cash just for existing. Plus, when the economy you create is so good that everything doubles in price from inflation, you'll be prepared.
Well, folks, eliminate one tax loophole out of $1.6 trillion worth, $1.4 trillion worth. Out of $1.4 billion. It's hard to even say it, it's so much. And by the way, it's cost a lot of money. It cost about $740 billion over 10 years.
Also enjoy your crime immunity card.
Sure, crime rates and hate crimes around the nation are rising all over the place, but now with your crime immunity card, you'll be completely protected from criminals taking advantage of the loosening liberal crime laws. Just show your crime immunity card to any criminal that you may come across and let them know that you support their movement to balance out injustices in society. Who needs a gun for protection when you have your crime immunity card? It's all included in your Biden Basement Starter Pack that's available right now.
But wait, there's more.
Order now and get the latest item that's now included in your Biden Basement Starter Pack. Now introducing your all-new, never-before-used crack pipe.
Say what?
Freshly minted from the Department of Health and Human Services, the Biden crack pipe will help with all your injustices in your life and raise your government-valued equity. It's the perfect way to forget all about the worries and gaffes of the Biden administration and continue to be that leading example of leadership in the progressive movement. And now you can get your Biden crack pipe in multiple different styles and colors. And for a limited time only, when you purchase your Biden Basement Starter Pack with your new Biden crack pipe, you can get your own personalized handwritten letter with tips and tricks on the best way to use your crack pipe directly from the aficionado himself, Hunter Biden.
Say what?
It's 4 incredible products, your Biden crack pipe and your personalized Hunter Biden letter, all for one great low price. Take your support for the Democrat Party and the Biden administration to another level with the Voice of Reason's Biden Basement Starter Pack. Low promotional price does not include inflational adjustments. Your Biden Basement Starter Pack may be delayed in shipping due to supply chain issues caused by successful Biden economic policy and current COVID-19 mandates.
Find more products from the Voice of Reason online at HooserReason.com.
Looking for more reason? Well, now you can get even more content from the Voice of Reason through our Patreon site. It's your exclusive membership for being the ultimate Hoosier-holic. On our Patreon, you'll get additional interviews and content that we don't get to air on the radio, behind-the-scenes action from the Hooser Media Network, plus one-on-one video streams where you can catch up with me, guests of the show, and other great Voice of Reason supporters. Plus, you can also support the show by checking out our gear and swag. Find the link on our website at HooserReason.com. Again, that's HooserReason.com. Become the ultimate Hoosier-holic.
reason
In common sense.
This is the Voice of Reason with Amy Hooser.
Yeah, welcome back to the program. Great to have you, as usual, here for the weekend edition of the program. What a week it's been, man. It's exhausting just trying to keep up with all the news that happens on a regular basis. We have the Insurrection Act being threatened with President Donald Trump. We have ongoing protests up in Minnesota. And I got to be honest, I think that that's maybe a distraction from all the fraud that we're starting to uncover that they don't want us to know about. So instead of addressing the fraud, they create distractions by just having violence in the streets. So all the media is focused on that. But the mentality. Do we need a psychiatrist? Do we need some help, a shrink to maybe break down some of these issues and a heck of a lot more? That's where we're going to go to with our next guest on the program.
Let's go to the Hoosier Media Hotline.
That's right. We'll enjoy having her on the show. It's been a while since we've had her on, but she is known as America's Psychiatrist. She is also host of the Terrorist Therapist podcast. Really happy to have on here Dr. Carol Lieberman. Carol, how are you, my friend?
Fine, thank you.
Hey, great to have you back on. I got to ask you the mindset. I can only imagine where we're at with the mindset of the other side of the aisle right now, Carol, but the protests, the violence, we've seen the shooting on that happened just a week or so ago up in Minneapolis with the protests against ICE. We have this ICE watch all over the nation. People are just angry. What's the mindset?
And the thing is that it is a rage that can easily and has easily shifted to the problem of the week or the fall guy of the week. In other words, it could be just as easily ICE as it was to the police, as it was to Trump, as it was to, you just pick, take a pick. It's like whack-a-mole. They're just trying to get rid of anybody or any group of people who, and of course, anti-Semitism, can't forget that, get rid of the Jews. But it is so, it's so disingenuous, and it is so psychotic, so hysterical, because they can so easily move from one person or group to another. It's just, they're looking for outlets to express their rage at the world, at their life. Really what it is they're not happy. They're very unhappy people.
Yeah.
And they want to, the world hasn't given them, their life hasn't given them what they want. And so what they do is take it out on people who they think, they blame this one this week and that one this week, that week, and just to let everybody know how angry they are.
Yeah.
And it is really, and of course, I cannot forget to mention Trump derangement syndrome, because I've been working for almost a year now on refining the diagnosis of Trump derangement syndrome, because I'm just about ready to propose it to the American Psychiatric Association for inclusion in their diagnostic and statistical manual. So some of this is also Trump derangement syndrome, because, for example, ICE. They see ICE as an extension of Trump, or the police as an extension, because Trump is trying to bring law and order and get rid of illegal migrants. So they see him in all of this too.
Yeah. There's a lot to cover there for sure. That is hilarious, by the way, and well done on trying to prevent Trump derangement syndrome as an actual mental issue, because it really seems to be prevalent. These individuals, like you said, the victimhood status, which is just reinforcing this mindset. I've never been able to make it much in life, so therefore I'm just going to be angry about everything. That can't be healthy for you, is it, Carol, to say that I'm just going to wake up in the morning and say, I'm so angry at the world, I need to find something to go and fight because I'm just not happy with my life?
Yes, that's what it is. And of course, logically, it doesn't make sense. It's, and these are people who, they didn't just wake up and have this, well, first of all, some of it has been sown into them by the education. People who are younger, the younger generations, have been taught to do this, literally taught to do this, to hate America. So, but these are people who, didn't do well with authority from the time that they were kids and with their parents. So much of this is like teenage rebellion.
Is this?
You know,
I was going to say, is this the
teenage-
generation that never got told no? Maybe the participation trophy. Now, look, I'm a millennial, so
Yes.
my generation's known for this. But the generation that was never told no, their parents were more as friends than they were actual parents. That they got everything they wanted, and now that they're in the real world, and I said it before that when Donald Trump won the first time. For that generation, it was essentially the first election that they had lost because they had Barack Obama growing up and getting whatever they wanted at that time from their side of the aisle, that they're not used to being told no and they don't know how to handle it.
Yes, that is a big part of it, too. Of course, it's sort of both sides. Like, on the one hand, they're not used to being, they want their participation medals, yes, their ribbons. But also they're angry. A lot of them, I guess depends on which generation and depends on what kind of parents you had. But a lot of them started by being angry at their parents. I mean, that's part of it too that is happening now.
Yeah.
There is such rebellion going on by the younger generations, because like for example, people who have been taught to hate America. And who are therefore leftists, hate their parents if they are rightist, if they're conservative.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing that's happening now too. Same thing with, like for example, the parents or mother at least of the woman, Miss Good, who does bad in Minneapolis. She was apparently her parents. Or her mother is conservative, and so there is some literal rebellion against the parents.
Interesting. It's wild. We'll talk with Dr. Carol Lieberman. She is known as America's Psychiatrist, also host of the Terrorist Therapist podcast. You can find all her great information as well with her show on voiceamerica.com. You mentioned a little while ago about anti-Semitism, which is becoming shockingly more prevalent in society. I'm not quite sure why, but it's here. We're seeing the lack of protest or lack of support from the ones that have been screaming for free Palestine from the river to the sea. Israel's just an evil nation that wants to take over the Muslim communities in that area, all this other garbage. We're seeing a lack of support for the Iranian revolution right now. Why do you think that is?
Yes, it's very interesting. Because they get more pleasure out of hating Jews and Israel than they do being, for the people who are protesting against the Iranian, the terrorists who are running the country. It's not as much fun to be forced, although in some cases, I mean, they are they are for Palestinians and for gays for Gaza and all of that. The ignorance, the ignorance, because I've been doing since 9/11. I have been doing work. Dedicating myself a lot of my time to helping people cope with terrorism and to waking people up to the ongoing danger of terrorism, the ongoing threat. We're more in danger today than we were at 9/11. And yet we have people who are so ignorant. The Gays for Gaza, for example, Netanyahu talked about that when he talked to Congress about how gays for Gaza are like chickens for KFC. I mean, They don't realize that if they were in the Middle East, they'd be thrown off rooftops. People are so ignorant about so much, particularly about terrorism, that they don't know. They don't know which river, which sea. They don't know. They don't care. They just want to be able to stand up there and shout.
Yeah, it's really strange. And for the ones that say that they're there for the people of Palestine, they've been persecuted. They've been, the genocide happening from the Israelis and the Zionists into the people of, the Gaza Strip and Palestine. It's very strange. And then we look at this Iranian issue, and I would think that for the feminists, the pink hat wearing radical left-wing Democrats that want all these rights for women would support a revolution in Iran, especially where women are seen as less than, subhuman. They have to cover their entire bodies and cover their face and everything. And that they would be supporting this type of revolution. So like you said, it's either TDS because Donald Trump wants the revolution, so therefore they're okay with this terrorist regime, or they just don't care because, like you said, it's not about the emotional connection of actually fighting for what they say. They're just doing it because either they're being paid for it or because it's a Jewish thing. And here's the crazy part, Carol, is that we're hearing apparently The talking points against supporting the revolution is because the revolution's being supported and funded and organized by the Zionists, and apparently the Jews are the ones that are trying to topple the Iranian regime.
Yeah.
Carol, this is a crazy world right now.
Yes. All of these crazy, ideas that are just whipping around. And, you would think because in general, the left is for the victims, right? Like the supposed Palestinian victims.
Yeah.
So you would think they would be for the citizens of Iran who are the victims.
Right.
But they don't, that doesn't compute.
It's wild.
In fact, in New York, do you know, I just did a podcast on this, my terrorist therapist podcast, which actually is on my website, terroristtherapist.com, and it's also on, wherever terrorists are found, wherever podcasts are found.
I love it.
But my latest one that is going up probably today is about it's the best of times, and it's the best of times, it's the worst of times for terrorists. And so I was going through all places all over the world, where it's good for terrorists and bad for terrorists. And, of course, in most of the places it's good for terrorists, including New York City. And, of course, we have Mamdani. But also, do you know, and I didn't know this until I was doing research for this particular episode, or I forgot about it, I don't know. But this year will be the 4th anniversary of the NYPD's hijab day.
What the heck? I've never even heard of that. Carol, hang on the line. We got to take a hard break here. Back after this on The Voice of Reason.
This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Big government is broken. Every year, politicians fail to pass a budget as the deficit continues to grow. Every month, unelected bureaucrats pile on rules no one voted for, strangling our economy. And every day, DC's broken system gets in the way of the American dream. Washington isn't working, and the people pay the price. At Americans for Prosperity, we believe it's time to fix the system. Now, join the movement to make government work.
As you know, I'm always looking for a good snack, but it's hard to find good quality snacks without all the unhealthy additives. But now that problem is over. It's time to enjoy J&S Smoked Snacks. Real cuts of beef, real wood smoke, and real flavor that's crafted in small batches to keep every bag fresh. I promise you'll be addicted. And with numerous different flavors, you'll never get enough. This is not your average gas station jerky. It's J&S Smoked Snacks. Find them online at jssmokedsnacks.com and tell them I sent you.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? Our country's greatest breakthroughs were born from bold ideas and the ability to take one small step forward. At Americans for Prosperity, freedom and opportunity find their defenders. Because our country's next giant leap is just around the corner. Are you ready to step up?
For more information, go to takeonesmallstep.com. Hey, the live show may be almost over today, but it doesn't have to be for you. As always, enjoy The Voice of Reason with our daily podcast by finding The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser on any of your favorite podcasting sites. Just find us, subscribe, have it automatically downloaded, and listen at your convenience whenever you want to bring some more reason into your day. And a lot of people are doing it. Also, you can always find the video of the show, along with articles, additional commentary, and maybe a few sarcastic remarks by following us on our social media. Stay up to date with everything going on with the show, including upcoming guests, breaking news stories, interesting articles, and maybe some memes. Help us in the ongoing battle with censorship and shadow banning from social media by following us on the social media at Hooser Reason on all of our social media sites. For all these social media links, podcast links, contact information, or just general information of the show, go to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can listen live every day, read our latest monthly blog, find our radio affiliate list, or even listen to our latest infomercials and special content. Plus, you can always reach out to the program by sending me a message on social media, emailing us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com, or sending an email through our website at HooserReason.com. Whether it's content on the show, whether it's a guest that you've liked or disliked, or whether you want to disagree with me, and disagreement's always appreciated. While you're there, make sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter. Each month, you'll get the latest update on the show, updates from the Hooser Media Network, and our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Finally, if you want to help support the show, become a member of our Patreon site and help us fight for the cause of truth, reason, and common sense every day, and get more of the same by becoming the ultimate Hoosierholic. Get additional interviews that sometimes we don't always get to air on the radio. Hear our special segments or even our infomercials before anyone else, and have a chance to chat with other great Hoosierholics from all over. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, you're not only helping the fight for conservative values, you're helping us get more content and information out through the Hooser Media Network. Find out more information online at HooserReason.com. Lastly, follow and support all of our partners with the show. The Voice of Reason has been growing more and more every year, and it's because of so many great partners helping us get the message out to you. From show partners to local radio affiliates in your area to streaming sites, podcasting sites, and more, we have so many supporters and listeners now than ever before, and we want to thank you. It's time to bring back common sense, and we do it right here every day with the Voice of Reason.
Where Hoosierholics gather every week. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Yeah, welcome back to the program. Great to have you. We got one segment left as we wrap things up for this hour of the show. Man, it flies right on by, and we're having a great conversation with our guest. We'll get back to her in just a moment. But I want to tell you about my friends over at J&S Smoked Snacks. As you know, you are going into the new year, and if you want snacks, you maybe want them a bit more healthy. Maybe you're still continuing on with your health push in the country with your New Year's resolutions. That would be pretty awesome. You want snacks, and one of my favorite snacks out there by far is beef jerky. I know it. You know it. Everybody loves beef jerky. The problem is, though, is that there's so many chemicals in it. Well, I'm here to tell you that J&S Smoked Snacks, our partners here on the program, you can get your beef jerky and not have it be all of that crazy chemicals. I've seen them make it. It is real meat, it is real seasoning, and it's really, really good. This is not your average gas station beef jerky. And for my listeners alone, you can get any 4 packs that you want. And they have tons of different flavors, so you can load up on all your favorite ones. You can try new ones. It doesn't matter. They have new flavors coming out all the time, too, by going to jssmokesnacks.com, jssmokesnacks.com. Find any 4 packs of beef jerky that you want, and at checkout, use promo code REASON for our special of $47.45 for the 4 bags of beef jerky. Again, $47.45 at jssmokesnacks.com, and make sure to check them out today. All right, we are hanging out with Carol Lieberman, known as America's Psychiatrist, also host of the Terrorist Therapist podcast. You can go and check that out on any of your favorite podcasting sites. Carol, let's shift gears a little bit to the violence that we're seeing in the nation, the anti-MAGA movement, the assassination attempt that we saw against President Donald Trump, the actual assassination of Charlie Kirk that we've seen recently, and the threats that we continue to see because, well, we have people that truly believe that Nazism, fascism, dictatorships are taking over the country. How do we get away from something like that? And more importantly, are we going to see the normalization of violence in society like we've been told that we just have to accept that it's going to be a reality from now on?
Yes, unfortunately, we are seeing more and more the normalization of violence because these people are not getting punished. Yeah. I mean, it should have been from the get-go that these protesters at colleges and all that should have had some punishment. But instead, even for those colleges where they did call the police, and those were very few, the police would take them in and let them out the same day, just like with criminals. This is a very dangerous situation. You know, we are at risk. All of America is at risk of violence coming to your town, like towns that were quiet,
Yeah.
where you never, like, other than New York City or other than Washington, D.C. or places or Oregon, places where we've come to expect violence. Even just hometowns, quiet hometowns. It's getting to the point where nobody is safe to go outside, which of course is going to be intensifying the agoraphobia that we developed during COVID when we weren't allowed to go outside in some places.
Yeah, and the weird part is that people still want to do that, right? They still want their isolationism. We continue to see these lawsuits of challenging government mandates to go back into the office because they want to do the remote learning and remote work and everything else, which I get. It's kind of nice to sit comfy in your PJs while you do your work online, but at the end of the day, the isolationism that we see is not only unhealthy for the working population, but also for the younger population who's being taught that we don't need to have physical interaction with our friends or significant other. We're just going to do everything online and have a chat room and just go about our day like that. And I can only imagine that the depression, the anxiety, the mental health issues that we're seeing in the country right now are partly or even largely because of the ongoing isolationism that's leading to other issues, isn't it?
Yes. Way before COVID, studies, have shown that isolation in itself, for just people who isolated, can cause all kinds of physical problems like heart attacks and strokes, and all kinds of physical problems, and as well as psychological problems. And when you're staying inside, you develop paranoid ideas about the other. The people who are outside. It's very dangerous all the way around.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. It is Dr. Carol Lieberman, the Terrorist Therapist podcast. You can go and find it on her website. You can see the podcast on any of your favorite podcasting sites, also known as America's Psychiatrist. We need to get our mental health back on track and get our brains back to normal for some common sense and reason. And I think we're moving in the right direction, but there are some that are fighting it tooth and nail. Carol, we got to get you back on and do it again soon, my friend. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks again. Carol Lieberman, Dr. Carol Lieberman, known as America's Psychiatrist and the host of the Terrorist Therapist podcast. Here's the optimistic side of this conversation, is that with the protests we're seeing in Minneapolis right now, the anger and the fighting in the streets against Donald Trump, the MAGA movement, the Nazi regime, whatever they try to say, even though they're wrong and it's a little silly to watch them do what they do, I guess it's getting them out of their parents' basements, right? Yeah, I guess we can go down that road. Always the eternal optimist on this show, and we appreciate her. We'll get her back on again real soon. But we are out of time for this hour. Until then, be your own voice of reason. Be that catalyst for change. It is the Voice of Reason. I'm Andy Hooser. We'll see you on the radio soon. Bye.
1 hour down.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser. When I get off the air every day, the battle for me against limited government, censorship, and even unfactual content is far from over. That's why now I'm so happy to say that the Hooser Media Network is giving you more opportunity to catch the Voice of Reason along with other great shows and podcasts. It's been a long time in the works, and now you can finally enjoy more great content, services, and topical shows. We're the safe space for alternative talk, information, and ideas that the mainstream media absolutely hates. From holistic and alternative medicine, discussions on religion and spirituality, pure entertainment shows, and of course yours truly with the Voice of Reason. Plus, we offer numerous media services, including helping you set up your own podcast. Become your own Voice of Reason and bring your expertise to any fun issue or topic. For information on all of our shows, links to podcasts, each show website or social media link, or to find out about everything we do to challenge the mainstream establishment, visit our website at HooserMedia.com. Again, that's HooserMedia.com, the future of media. Andy Hooser here, reminding you not only can you listen to the Voice of Reason on your favorite radio station, but also check out the video of the program on TV and online. We're excited to be working with our partners over at OpsLens to bring the Voice of Reason live every day on their website at OpsLens.com, on the OpsLens app that you can download on any of your smartphones, or on any of the OpsLens social media. It's a great network that broadcasts multiple shows promoting truth, reason, and common sense, reaching thousands of viewers every day, all day long. Plus, while you're there, you can always watch some of the best highlights of the show during the weekends or read our latest opinion columns on topical issues of the day. Also, if you want to interact with me during the program, just leave a comment on their social media or the OpsLens app stream. You can always join the live chat rooms, or if it's easier, just email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Again, that's HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. This is your show, and we want to hear from you. Why? Because it's time for you to be your own voice of reason in your own community. Boom, there we are. Hour 1 officially done.
Well, all right.
Went by pretty decent.
That went fast.
Yeah,
That seemed like 30 minutes.
Usually does. All right, let's see here. Any other big breaking headlines going on right now? What the heck's Donald Trump done in the last hour?
I've not seen anything breaking just yet. Just that big, not tweet, Truth Social thing that he did.
Yeah. Ooh, the debate is settled. When you're sick, which one's healthier for you, chicken soup or tomato soup?
I would say chicken.
We chose to initially implement NetSuite One World. One World allows us.
No. A healthier one is based widely on ingredients and how you prepare it.
I can see that.
Clickbait crap. What the heck, man?
Oh, come on. That's no fun.
I know. Give me a clear answer. Oh, man. Actually, I'm going to talk about a story this hour that's actually based out of here in Kansas, but it's going to relate to around the country, so it's not going to be too locally based. I don't know if you heard this or not. This school in Eureka, Kansas, which is a tiny little town about an hour east of Wichita, they reprimanded a 6th grade class because they did a project in their class on who their role model was, and 3 of the students got in trouble because one student said Charlie Kirk was his role model, another said Donald Trump, and another said Jesus, and the guidance counselor got mad at them and said you are not allowed to use those names as your role models.
What the heck? Why? do they hate those people? What is? I don't understand
guess.
that. That's weird.
I know. And here's the crazy part. Afterwards, they realized that it was probably not the smartest thing to do. So then they apologized to the kids and told the kids not to tell their parents about what had happened.
Interesting. Okay.
So we'll talk about that a little bit.
All right.
Yeah. The world we live in, man.
I don't know. It's weird because you hear things like that, yet they say that since Charlie Kirk died, people are becoming, and I see a little bit of it, not much, but people are becoming more Christian.
Yeah. I mean.
But I don't know. I know there's always going to be those who are never, well, I don't think it's really up to you anyway, but you're never going to convince that that's real.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's everybody's individual choice and path and what they're
Absolutely.
doing and, whatever. But, and even before Charlie Kirk died, I did see a story, I want to say earlier last year, or maybe even the year before, that said that there was like a record number of baptisms in the country or something, or attendance in churches were up. So, I mean, it's been a trend that's been going on. I think that Charlie Kirk definitely had an influence on that, but I don't know, man. There's just a lot of
I don't either.
Crazy
Our
angry people
SRN
out there.
program begins.
Well, they need Jesus.
They need
Calm
Jesus.
down.
Calm down a little bit. All right, everybody on the live video audio streams, what's up, guys? Yeah, you get to the behind-the-scenes conversation of what we're going to do. It's going to be a big hour. Randy Landrino will be on the program. He's with U.S. Inventor, usinventor.org. We're going to talk about some legislation in D.C. about how we can protect innovators and inventors in the nation, unlike what we're doing right now. Plus, as you heard, we are going to talk about some issues about the public school system and discrimination against some of the students. So we'll have some fun with that. If you are listening, really appreciate it if you say hi, start the algorithm, share it out onto your pages, let us know that you're there, and let's do this thing, man.
Your SRN program begins in 10 seconds. Your SRN program will begin in 5, 4.
Broadcasting from the heart of the nation, in the Hooser Media Network studios, the next generation in conservative talk radio. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, darn right it is. What is up, my friends? Welcome back into it. It is your Voice of Reason's weekend edition. So great to have you as usual. No, what's happening right now? My video froze on our video feed. What's happening in the world right now? That's okay. We'll get it back up and going here momentarily. We are live on some video pages on Facebook, on YouTube. One of our great affiliates, 930 The Answer TV down in San Antonio, Texas. We're live on their YouTube channel, but we are all over the place, and great to have you. I mean, we have more radio stations, and that's what this is. It's a what? It's a radio show, and we have so many wonderful, beautiful, amazing, I sound like Donald Trump, wonderful, beautiful, the most amazing radio affiliates ever out there with so many across the nation. We've added more over the last couple of weeks, so welcome aboard. Your Hoosier-holics doing our thing, baby, the way we do it each and every weekend.
We'll do it live!
That's right here on the program, and we're going to have some fun. There is plenty to talk about, plenty to get to. We have Donald Trump tweeting about Greenland this weekend. We have the battle on foreign policy. Apparently, we've taken out some terrorist leaders in Syria as well. We're now hearing that apparently we are calling for a regime change in the nation of Iran, as Donald Trump throughout this week continued to encourage individuals in Iran to continue on with that protest that is turned pretty bloody as well. So we'll have all that and a heck of a lot more. First and foremost, welcome into the program as we continue to do our thing. You can find our information at HooserReason.com, HOOSER Reason.com. Our social media with the same handle at Hooser Reason. And if you want the podcast of the program, you can find it on any of your favorite podcasting sites by just searching The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser. All right. We have, first, before we get into the big issue, Dave, first and foremost, our producer down in Dallas. What's up, my friend? Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is officially 72 years old this weekend. It is his birthday, and I gotta say, man, he does not look 72 years old. In fact, he would kick my butt, and he is way more in shape than myself. I have been doing some health kicks. I'm trying to get back in shape a bit. It's hard to do sitting behind a desk and in a radio studio 10 to 12 hours a day with the job that I do all throughout the week and what we do on this program. Kind of hard to get up and active, but we're trying. We're doing it. In fact, we've lost some weight. We'll talk about our new partner here in just a little bit. But happy birthday, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I have seen such amazing changes already with the health. And I know this has been a big kick for people since the COVID-19 pandemic. They have pushed back against some of the COVID policy, some of the vaccine policy. We now have the change in the childhood vaccine schedule, which is really good. There are some state health departments that are not accepting it, mine included here in the state of Kansas, and others that have said, no, we're sticking with the science, meaning they just want to play a political game because there is no science one way or the other in many cases. We're not going to break some of that down, but the changes that we're seeing have been astronomical when it comes to health, and something that we've been asking for a very long time. And I want to emphasize the fact that these changes are being done in a time when the biggest machine, or at least the most dangerous machine, or the most powerful, or the most money-driven, or whatever it is Big Pharma, Big Health, big insurance. And it is very difficult to topple a monster like that. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Dr. Oz and the Trump administration are doing it, and we applaud them very much for that. So well done, man, because that's freaking awesome. So happy 72nd birthday, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I will do my darndest to get into the shape to where, what was that military test that he was doing? I don't know, a few months ago, and all the elected officials were videotaping themselves trying to do it. RFK Jr. killed it, and of course, Pete Hegseth, our Department of War secretary, did it, and a few others where it was like 50 chin-ups and 100 push-ups in like 5 minutes. I mean, that's, bro, I can do, I don't know, 10, 12 chin-ups. I could probably do 100 push-ups in the span of about a 6-hour period. I can do like 30 or 40 right out of the gate, but after that, I'm gassed and I struggle. So, I mean, they always say if you can do 40 push-ups, then you have a healthy heart. I can get to 40. I can't do much more than that. Dave, what about you? Are you able to make any of that happen? Do like the 40 push-up challenge or something?
I cannot do that at all. I might get to 20, and that's it.
Okay, all right. I mean, comfortable, I can do 30. Like 40, I'm really straining, I'm sweating, and I'm cursing myself. I don't know. It's been a couple months. I could at least get there. After that, I can't just do another round of 40 or something. That's kind of a burnout. But nonetheless, happy birthday to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and the health movement we are seeing, getting dyes out of our foods, getting rid of some of the unneeded vaccines. It's been a major change. And, of course, the new food pyramid, which is really awesome. All right, let's get into what's trending here, shall we?
It's your week in review.
There was an announcement, and I want to bring it home to my home front here in the state of Kansas for just a moment. This is relatable to the other states that we're in all over the country, so bear with me because I am excited as we see changes in the health department. We're seeing changes in Congress trying to codify the Trump administration's agenda, trying to get their budget done with the appropriations process. Hopefully, we don't see another government shutdown by the end of the month of January, but we're a couple of weeks out, so we'll see if that actually happens or not. One thing I've not heard any conversation about recently, and it is quite unfortunate with Congress when Donald Trump has done the legwork right now, has been to end the Department of Education. Shut the doors. Be done with it. Move all the responsibilities off to other agencies. With education itself, bringing it down to the state level, with the loans and all the money transactions over to the Department of Commerce or the Department of Treasury, and, divvy up all the duties of what was the Department of Education to other places. I haven't heard a whole lot of conversation about that. We still have Linda McMahon, the Secretary for Education, that is trying to let go of federal employees and offset some of those duties elsewhere to the point where it's really been cut at least in half, if not more. And that's a great first step. However, it's still there, and we're funding it the same level. So now we're just funding essentially a shell company. It's an umbrella where there's nothing there, but we're just sending money to it because Congress hasn't done their part in actually shutting the doors, which needs congressional approval and a bill to be passed. And I get it. We need the 60 votes in the Senate. More than likely not going to happen, but we need to work on that because it is a very important issue. Point in case, there was a story this week, and if you don't think it can happen in your community, au contraire. Because in a little town known as Eureka, Kansas, I want you to do a little Google search on this one. Eureka, Kansas, a small little town about an hour east of the city of Wichita, where we're based out of here in the Hooser Media Studios. It has a population that is very, very small. In fact, there's maybe 2 stoplights. It's bigger than the town I live in outside of Wichita, but not by much. And in fact, the company I work for has a little radio station in that town. They made the news this week because apparently back in October, there was a class project for the 6th grade class in Eureka, Kansas, in their middle school, where the teacher had asked the students to write a paper on their role models that they look up to. Now, the role models, they did not, at least at the beginning of the project, specify on who could be the role model and why they're the role model. But it led to national news now because in that project that was back in October, 3 of the students in Eureka Middle School in 6th grade had chosen some interesting role models. One of the students, student A, chose Charlie Kirk. Now remember, this is directly after the assassination of said Charlie Kirk, and said that Charlie Kirk was his role model. Another one said that Donald Trump was their role model, and a third said that Jesus was their role model. And apparently this did not go over well with the class, and did not go over well with the school at all because the teacher ended up turning them into the guidance counselor. The guidance counselor then proceeded to tell these students, sixth graders, mind you, middle schoolers, my daughter's in sixth grade, 11, about to turn 12 years old. So what would have been her age if she came home and told me this? I would be quite irate. But the guidance counselor told them that those were not acceptable names to be role models and that they were not allowed to choose those individuals as their role models for the school project. I know that's where we're at now. This is not a joke. No, it's not a joke. This is real. It really happened. This led to the point now the American Center for Law and Justice, a conservative legal organization that's based out of Washington, D.C., has officially filed a complaint at the school and has now filed a lawsuit for political freedom of speech and religious discrimination at the school because not only did the guidance counselor reprimand these 3 students, but then realized what they did, realized it probably wouldn't go over very well, and told the students that they apologized but not to tell their parents. Dave, I don't know about you, man, but if my daughter came home and said, I had this project, they told me I was not allowed to say Donald Trump was my role model, and then said that I'm not allowed to tell you about this whole scenario, I might be making a visit to the school and figuring out what the heck's going on.
I for sure would.
Yeah, this is a little crazy. It goes even further now to where the school has responded now to the legal suit from the American Center for Law and Justice and has responded in a letter to parents in the district that said that they are working on, what did they say? Our team is always working together on ways that we can help ensure learning activities are positive and encouraging experiences for every student. Didn't really answer a whole lot, but at least now they're working on experiences to encourage active, positive environments for the students. This is not going to go over well. And why am I mentioning this for a small town in Kansas? To remind you, this is not New York City. This is not Chicago. This is not LA. This is not Washington, D.C. This is a small town that maybe has 200 students in the entire school, just knowing the size of this place, and a bureaucratic agency in this public education system that continues to just allow this type of rhetoric to happen, and then they got caught on it. And it's really unfortunate. Now, this is at the time when we hear the other side of the aisle, the progressives, that say that the Republicans are the ones that are trying to start violence, right? We have the ICE protests and the violence going on up there because of the Gestapo that's shooting people in the faces, which is what we're hearing right now, and kind of the garbage that you're hearing from these people. And even to the point where Gavin Newsom, who wants to be president in 2028, is saying that Republicans and Donald Trump are the ones trying to start a civil war.
He's trying to stoke a civil war in this country. It is a disgrace what he's doing in Minneapolis. It is a disgrace what he's doing all across the United States of America, terrorizing communities.
That's right, terrorizing communities. But yet we have this agenda, which explains why, by the way, we have so many people that support that side of the aisle. Because if this is what's being taught in the public education system, even in small towns, if that's what's being taught in public education systems around the country, we have a serious problem. Like, we need to get back to basic fundamentals of education. We have to get back to basic fundamentals of the Constitution, separation of powers, because I think we're having a serious education crisis in this nation. And that's why we have to call on the ending of the Federal Department of Education that allowed this type of environment to happen. Jasmine Crockett, Congresswoman from the state of Texas, who's now running for the Senate. I almost did it. Dave, I almost said it without cracking up because of how funny it is. Jasmine Crockett trying to run for the Senate in the state of Texas came out and said that ICE is now even to the point of what?
And I will say it loud and proud because the DH secretary had a few choice words for me, but this looks like modern day slave patrols. And they have been sanctioned by this Supreme Court. Whoever thought we would live in a country that progress looks like having a Supreme Court that says, yes, it is okay to look at somebody or to listen to their accent and give permission to grab them.
Come on, man. This is absolute insanity. How dare federal law enforcement officers arrest individuals that are obstructing the duties of a law enforcement officer, a federal law enforcement officer. And according to them, because of that, Jasmine Crockett, the congresswoman who's not the brightest individual in the world. And honestly, nobody really cares about what she has to say. I mean, she's kind of irrelevant, right?
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Yeah, she's pretty much irrelevant, although she's trying to be relevant by running for the Senate in the state of Texas. That is the level of low IQ. And I don't mean that as a personal attack. I really don't, because we don't do that on the show. Truly as an awareness of the lack of understanding of basic fundamentals of how we function as a society. That's the level that we're at, and people eat this up, and it starts at the basic fundamental levels of our public education system. We got a lot of work to do. Back after this here for The Voice of Reason. Don't go anywhere.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
When America builds, the world follows. Our energy powered the 20th century. We've set the standard for generations, and we never waited for permission. But now, we're being held back. Outdated rules, endless delays. Without permitting reform, Washington's red tape is slowing us down while other nations race ahead. It doesn't have to be this way. We can clear the way for energy that's affordable, reliable, and built right here. Because what's built here is felt here. Lower costs, more jobs, stronger communities. That's what permitting reform makes possible. Energy didn't just shape our country, it powered the American dream. And with our innovation, we can lead the 21st century. Congress has a choice. Build America's energy future or risk falling behind. Tell Congress, pass permitting reform now.
Hey, did you know that you can have multiple different networks on one single smartphone? Well, with Patriot Mobile, you can. It's time for you to sign up for the Patriot Mobile primary phone plan with plans as low as $15 a month, where you can have 2 numbers and 2 networks on one single phone. And right now, if you sign up using the promo code REASON, you can get an entire month absolutely free. It's the Patriot Mobile One plan. 1 phone, 2 numbers, and 2 networks. And it's all at patriotmobile.com/reason. Again, patriotmobile.com, and use the promo code REASON. Miss any part of the show? Well, don't worry. Now's your chance to go find the podcast and listen to as much of the Voice of Reason as you'd like. As the show continues to grow all across the nation with great radio affiliates, we also continue to grow as one of the top conservative podcasts, ranked 5th on the MillionPodcast.com Best 50 Conservative Leadership Podcasts in the nation, and number 1 on FeedSpot.com's 30 Best Conservative Talk Shows in the country. The show continues to grow each and every day. Just find us on any of your favorite podcasting sites at The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? How did 2 guys in a cramped California garage reimagine the phone and put the power of the universe at our fingertips? At Americans for Prosperity, we believe greatness can happen anywhere. We just need freedom and the opportunity to make it real. But today, with a rigid system stifling progress, limiting creativity, and holding us back. That's why at AFP, we offer solutions that tackle the most critical challenges facing our country, so there's nothing standing in the way of America's next breakthrough. Because what we build today doesn't just shape the future, it defines it. How will you be defined? Take your first step today with Americans for Prosperity.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
It's America's political therapist. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Yeah, it is. Welcome back into the program. Great to have you here for your weekend edition of the Voice of Reason as usual. By the way, programming note, we got our video feed up and going, so that is all good. If you saw the frozen camera, then we are back at it on that front. But again, side piece there, that's the icing on the cake. We have so many great radio affiliates. You don't need to flip over to the social media and check that out. Hey, I want to tell you about my brand new friends and partners here on the program. I've been so excited to announce this and talk about them. I've been talking about it during the weekday program. I have been taking this supplement since the beginning of the year. I feel absolutely amazing. I've already lost like 3 or 4 pounds in the 2 weeks now that I've been taking it, and it's really great. But I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Lean. As you know, you may be going through your New Year's resolutions. Don't give up on those. Don't do it. Fad diets over the years include everything that you may have tried, from juice cleanses, cabbage soup diets, raw food diets, and more. They work maybe temporarily. They make you feel good for a little bit, but it's hard to keep up with something like that. Doctors call it weight cycling, and a lot of Americans do it. When you lose 10 pounds or so, but then you put the pounds back on, plus maybe gain a little bit more, it's really tough on your body and your organs. It's not good for you, not recommended, and I'm sure it leaves you really frustrated. Bottom line, most people need to lose weight, and here's a great way to do it with using non-prescription Lean. Lean was created by doctors. It's an oral supplement. It's not an injection, although it's like the GLP-1s. It's just not a shot for you, and the science is really impressive. Lean helps maintain that healthy blood sugar. It helps control the appetite and cravings, and it helps you burn fat by converting the sugar and the fat in your body into energy. And that burning fat helps you keep the weight off. If you want to do it, you can check it out with our friends by going to takelean.com. Lose meaningful weight at a healthy pace and keep it off, and add Lean to your diet and exercise lifestyle. When you use our promo code REASON, you get 20% off your order. That's a no-brainer, man. Go to takelean.com, use the promo code REASON, and get that 20% off. Again, takelean.com, and use that promo code REASON. All right, Dave, we were talking over the break, and we have some breaking news going on right now, which...
What's trending today?
I had to look it up because I saw the headline flow on a social media account, and obviously there's a lot of bots, a lot of weird stuff going on there, but there is some very interesting breaking news, and this goes as part of our...
Weird news of the day.
And for those that may have listened to the show for a while, you know we like to talk about some weird stuff on here. It's the weekend, why the hell not? But at the same time, this is probably... Look, it's on the Times.com, which is a UK-based site, and it's on the BBC. So I would say, even if they're left-wing sources, I would say they're relatively credible because they're pretty mainstream. Here's the headline. A former banker for the Bank of England, as a senior analyst known as Helen McCaw, has warned the Bank of England that they should plan for a potential financial crisis that could be triggered by the soon-coming confirmation of the existence of aliens. Dude, this is...
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Get a life.
I'm telling you, Dave, this is like a whole nother level. Now, there is rumor that, again, you can put on the tinfoil hat for just a moment. It's a fun topic to talk about, but there was a lot of people, if you've not seen the new documentary, Age of Disclosure, highly recommended. A lot of government officials, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio, although he was senator when he did the interview on there, talked about there have been multiple different studies that were done under the Bush administration where they brought a bunch of physicists and economists and a whole bunch of people from different sectors of the economy to come in and say, we're not saying this is real, but if aliens were real, then what would that do to society? And they had pros and cons based on what would it do to the financial markets, the energy markets, religion, societal factors, culture, whatever. And they came out overwhelmingly saying that if the confirmation was done to the public, it would be overwhelmingly negative for society because people would essentially go into anarchy, knowing that everything they do for their daily life is essentially irrelevant, that the financial market is just just a way to control people, and that people would question their religious beliefs, and it would just completely tear apart the idea in the fabric of society and the way that it works. So that's been the theory. But now, apparently, a former Bank of England senior analyst is warning the Bank of England to prepare for a financial crisis with the potential soon coming confirmation of the existence. Crazy stuff, man. We got a lot to get to here for The Voice of Reason. Happy weekend to you. Stay here.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
That was fun.
That is awesome. I love that stuff.
To reason, fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left finds new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back. And that's where we can help. Head to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can find our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Let us know your thoughts on current events with different surveys and chat rooms. And keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Plus, when you head to the website, you can always get great deals and different offers from all of our great radio partners. Finally, if you want more of the show, you can find our podcasts with all of our great episodes and your favorite guests. And make sure to check out the latest Voice of Reason infomercials and maybe some other special content. And it's all because of you being part of the Hoosier-holic family. Let's continue to fight for conservative common sense principles together by going to HooserReason.com. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do.
Andy's latest product.
The Hispanic community is radically diverse in the United States. Some would say as unique and diverse as the food they eat.
The diversity of this community, as distinct as the Bogotas of the Bronx, as beautiful as the blossoms of Miami, and as unique as the breakfast tacos here in San Antonio.
And now you can enjoy the flavor and diversity that every member of the Hispanic community gets to enjoy every single day. Jill Biden's very all-new breakfast taco special from the Voice of Reason.
Hola amigos, I'm Adan, your Jill Biden breakfast taco. Now you too can enjoy the unique, diverse flavors of Mexico and Latin American with me.
Adon the breakfast taco has everything a growing boy, girl, undecided, or other may need.
Start off with a thick layer of potato seasoned with fresh and delicate spices of Mexico and cooked to perfection.
The potatoes show not only are we tough on the outside, but soft and lovable on the inside.
Next, enjoy the 2 large huevos. No breakfast taco is complete without our famous huevos. They are there for all to enjoy.
What comes next in the delicacies is the true sign of diversity and uniqueness in the culture, as there are just too many options.
Chicken, carne asada, chorizo, pork, bacon, vegetarian, the choices are endless. We have a flavor for everyone, but you won't know if you like it until you try it, and we like it all.
Finally, your Jill Biden Adon breakfast taco is always personalized for you with the specially unique and diverse toppings only found in the ever-expanding diverse culture of Latin America.
Top me off with your favorite great tasting cheese, sour cream, or gravy. But don't forget, what sets your breakfast taco apart from any other breakfast taco is a little spice.
Forget the salsa from the supermarket. It's time to do the real spicy direct from Mexico with the slices of jalapeno, habanero, or red chilies. Plus top all off with your favorite Valentina or Tapatio.
Show off your unique diversity with your very own Jill Biden breakfast burrito from the Voice of Reason.
Order now and multiply your diversity with 2 Jill Biden breakfast tacos, all for the price of 1.
It's the Voice of Reason's Jill Biden breakfast taco. Are you diverse enough? Coming to a restaurant near you.
Ándale, ándale.
Andy's latest product.
Find more products from the Voice of Reason online at HooserReason.com.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Are you still battling COVID-19? Wanting to find ways to limit your exposure to viruses that kill off humanity?
Oh, the humanity.
Now you can. It's time for you to get the all-new Voice of Reason product, the CDC Rona Fan. The CDC Rona Fan is not like your everyday ordinary fan. The CDC Rona Fan is the latest in technology that uses the unique and original purification process called the Breath of Fauci. And it's simple to use.
Oh my gosh, I just got my CDC Rona Fan and it's perfect. I can feel the COVID particles disintegrating out of the air in my home. And even though it's wintertime, I just open my window wide open, I'll slide my CDC Rona Fan right in, crank it up to full blast, and now I can have as many people over for the holidays as I want. and I'll never have to worry about transferring the virus to anybody. Just feeling the chill in the air, I know now that I'll never get sick again. Thanks, Rona fan.
The CDC RonaFan kills the Ronavirus at the same rate of any immunity your body can build. And it comes in all shapes and sizes to best fit your preferred personal identity and housing decor.
My mommy and daddy got the Fauci fan yesterday. They opened up all the windows of the house and put the fan in every one of them. They said it would make me nice and healthy. I can't feel my toes because it's so cold now, but they told me now that the Donald Trump virus won't kill me. They must be right when they tell me to listen to the government and do everything that they tell me to.
Order now and for a limited time, get an additional CDC RonaFan half off. But wait, there's more. If you order now, you'll also receive the CDC-approved Fauci bobblehead. Scare off deadly viruses just by placing your Fauci totem in each room. Battle the Rona with freedom and Fauci-controlled options with your voice of reason, CDC RonaFan.
When reason meets radio. This is the voice of reason with Andy Hooser.
Yeah, welcome back. As always, we appreciate you hanging out with us for another weekend. Moving through your weekend, and hopefully it's a good one, keeping you somewhat entertained here on the program. It's what our goal is, at least. Maybe make you think about some things a little bit differently and have some fun at the same time. Are we going into the golden age of America as the Trump administration continues to talk about the economy getting better, investments in private industry, new businesses coming to the country? That's all really exciting, but is there an aspect that we could potentially be missing as we slowly begin to fall behind and slip on inventions, innovations, and new ideas compared to other parts of the world? That's what we're going to go to with our next guest here on the program.
Let's go to the Hoosier Media Hotline.
And I am really excited to have on the program. He is with the U.S. Inventor, usinventor.org, the president of the organization. Really happy to have on here Mr. Randy Landrino. Randy, how are you, my friend?
Doing great. How you doing?
Doing great. Appreciate you coming on the show. What a fascinating topic. We're seeing a lot of business growth. We're seeing a lot of new business invested in the country and data centers and IT and AI and all this other stuff that's happening. But there's a critical piece that we really haven't heard much about in the news and we really haven't talked about much at all, which is innovation, creation, people that are inventors wanting to create new ideas. And it sounds like we're kind of lagging on that front, aren't we?
Yeah, we really are. And here's the thing. This is actually something that's fairly recent in America. You know, America, if you go all the way back to 1790, it was in 1790 under George Washington, the third ever act of Congress was the Patent Act of 1790. And that was a revolutionary act because what it did, for the first time in the world, it said that whoever you are, common person, with or without land, with or without money, male or female. How about that? If you invent something that's valuable, that's never been done before, you can own it for a limited period of time.
Sure.
So suddenly, a common person who's working with his or her hands, they come up with something, it's really valuable, they can patent it, they can own it, they can do something great with it, and it's good for the country, it's good for the community, it's good for the world, actually. And so suddenly, America started innovating like crazy. And for a couple of hundred years, I mean, look, very quickly we became the lead. We led the world in innovation. We became a world power faster than you would have thought, economically successful. And a key thing that we did that we kind of take for granted is we stayed ahead of our adversaries, right?
Yeah.
You think about this. Maybe up until 10 or 15 years ago, there wasn't even a question that America would stay ahead of countries like China in technology, right? It wasn't even a thought. I mean, we were ahead of everybody and had been forever. But then something happened, and what happened changed everything. And now you see China looking like they may take the lead in almost every new technology. You also see a handful of big corporations like big tech threatening to become monopolies, where in the past there would be startups competing with them, keeping them from becoming monopolies.
Right.
And what happened, there are a couple things that happened. But one of the key things that happened was a law that big tech used their influence to get passed back in 2011 called the America Invents Act. And the bottom line is that changed everything. I'm just kind of curious. Have you ever heard of this bill?
I have not heard of that one, no.
Okay. Well, some of your listeners might, and you might recall President Obama saying at some point that we needed to harmonize our patent system with the rest of the world.
Of course.
Now, think about this. You have the best system in the world, and you're going to harmonize it? You're going to bring it down to the level of the rest of the world?
Right.
Well, what this bill did much worse than that. So prior to that, if you had to face off with a big infringer, you have patented something and they're infringing it, and you need to try to stop them, the fight would take place in a real court where you would have a jury. The right to a jury trial is in the Seventh Amendment, right? You have a jury. You have a lifetime appointed judge. You have due process. And it wasn't cheap, but it was fair. Well, what happened with that bill, the bill created a new administrative court where there's no jury. There's no real judge. You have government employees who are called administrative patent judges. There's sometimes conflicts of interest like you wouldn't believe. And you don't have due process that you had before. And patents that get reviewed by this administrative court, about 84% of the time, they get invalidated. So there you are, having invented something great, and this only happens to the most valuable inventions that are really hot, that are really valuable, because there are a lot of inventions that really aren't that valuable. They're interesting, but there's not enough of a market or whatever. If it's really valuable, the kind of things that the big guys really want, they can take it now, and you can try to sue them for infringement, and they can get you into this administrative court where they have a huge ability to invalidate your patent in a very unjust and unfair way. So we're the guys fighting to turn that around. We're usinventor.org.
That's really important. I'm glad you guys are working on this, because it almost seems like now it's almost like a pay-to-play kind of mindset if the corporations want it. And we used to have, here's the crazy part, one of the whole purposes of our federal government was to ensure we don't have monopolies in an industry. Now it seems like we have the monopoly that's in bed with the government to ensure that they continue to be the monopoly to kill off any type of competition. And it sounds like it's been going on for a while now.
Well, interestingly, you can go back 100 years and look at the media around at the time of the Wright brothers, and there were big corporations saying, why should we have to pay these guys anything? They're just bicycle mechanics, and we're trying to make airplanes.
Right.
So, there's this viewpoint, this corporate viewpoint, that they don't really want to pay others anything. Now, I'm not saying all big corporations are bad, but there is this thing where, you get a lot of attorneys involved. I don't know if you're an attorney or not. I'm not.
No.
But there are some attorneys out there that will do almost anything for their employer. But anyway, but there are also some great attorneys, and we're connected with a lot of great attorneys as well. But the bottom line is, for many, many years, big corporations were trying to weaken our patent system to benefit themselves, and our lawmakers, to their credit, didn't do anything, or they held pretty firm up until about 2011, and that's where things just totally went to heck. And one of the big reasons was we didn't have a voice in Washington, D.C. Inventors didn't have a voice, but now we do through U.S. Inventor.
Yeah.
We're the only voice, really. There are some other groups that claim to be the voice, and they're connected and run by large corporations.
Sure.
But
yeah, it's pretty
but
wild.
The other thing is,
let's take it to another level here, because we always hear about inventors that that really do have a great idea. However, I hear these stories all the time about potentially big companies coming in that where they see the invention and it may be a threat to maybe a product they already have. They come in, they buy up the patent to it, they buy up the invention, and then they just shelve it or make it disappear. Is that really happening in society?
That's a good question. Here's the thing: if you patent something and somebody wants to buy it and shelve it, and you're okay with that, well, that's legal.
Sure.
At least that's, if it's an arm's length transaction rather than some other thing that's not okay. That would be legal. That's like selling a property that you own, right?
Right.
So to what degree that happens, I don't know. Most inventors are pretty idealistic, and if it's something great, they really want to see it out there, and they don't want to see it bottled up and kept secret. Now, the other thing too, though, is if you patent it, it becomes public information. Mm-hmm. So that company that wants to buy it up and keep it secret, they're not really going to be able to do that. So the incentive will be to buy the rights to it, and produce it like crazy.
Yeah.
And have exclusive rights to it so that your competitors don't have it for a limited period of time, of course.
Sure.
But so I know, and I've heard that what you're saying, and perhaps as you're developing something, maybe if the big guys find out you're working on something before you get it patented, they come in and would like to not see it show up on the market. Perhaps that happens. I'm not aware of any particular cases, but I would say this: if they want to buy the rights to it in an arm's length transaction, that's perfectly legal.
Yeah, very interesting. We're talking with Randy Landrino. He's the president of the U.S. Inventor. usinventor.org is the website if you want to find more information on some of this. And I think it's extremely important. What I love about the United States, because we have this private market, and we used to, at least, like you said, have the ability to create stuff, is the beauty about the private industry is that when there was a void in the market or when there was a need in the private market, someone would find a way to fill that void. And that's how we've been as successful as we have been. But now it sounds like other industries, China, Japan, all these other nations, we have Japanese that have heated toilets that, sing music to us now, and we apparently don't have that kind of technology. How do we get back on track here?
Well, it's interesting. I don't know about the heated toilets. Maybe that's not quite as important as some things, but there's probably a real market for it.
That's right.
But, here's the thing. Capitalism, as we know, is the best system, and having the incentive to create new things that people need, that people want, that's the best way to go. And usually the greatest and best ideas come from the little guy. It's somebody in a garage or even an apartment, a dorm room. They come up with something that no one's thought of, because the big guys, they're trying to protect what they've already created. So they're not looking for a way to put something they already have out of business.
Right.
But what you need is that people thinking outside of the box who are incentivized to do that, and that's what America had for so long. And that's one of the reasons why one of the key things that made America so different than the rest of the world. I mean, all these other. I remember talking to a guy in a business I used to be in many years ago. They would come to America for scuba diving shows because that's where all the new stuff was coming out. At our conferences and conventions, new products were coming out that they would never see normally in Europe. And that's what America was known for, and that's what kept us ahead of our adversaries like China. It's crazy that China is threatening to take the lead in all these technologies. That is an existential threat.
Right.
And so it's so imperative that we bring this key element of our system back. And of course, big money with all these corporations, the big money in D.C. is on the wrong side of this issue. And of course, money is, as you know, way too powerful among our lawmakers.
Yeah.
But we're the guys fighting it. And I got to tell you something. Our power is having people across the country, and numbers of them, who are willing to make a phone call or write an email when it matters, when we need to get our lawmakers behind a certain bill or get them to go against a certain bill. And that's where all of your members can help us. If you go to usinventor.org and sign our Inventor Rights Resolution, then we'll let you know if there's a call to action. It's really important. And you can actually help us get your lawmakers, the people you vote for, get them on the right side of this issue. Because a lot of times they're being misinformed daily.
It's a great idea. Randy, hang tight. We got to take a hard break here. Back after this on The Voice of Reason.
This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Big government is broken. Every year, politicians fail to pass a budget as the deficit continues to grow. Every month, unelected bureaucrats.
We've got 13 minutes left. It seems like we just started.
Man, every day,
DC's
it went fast
system.
today.
It goes so fast.
Yeah, buddy.
Washington isn't working, and the people.
And we have aliens.
And we have aliens. We
believe
have
it's
the
time
near
to fix the system.
confirmation
now
of aliens.
Join the movement.
All right. Well, now that little slee stack looking creature you have is relevant.
Flavor.
Right. Totally relevant.
This is Andy Hooser here for J&S Smoked Snacks. And it's time for you to try their handcrafted sausage, made in small batches for freshness and seasoned with their signature blends. You won't find anything else like it. Make sure to try their one-of-the-kind dill pickle sausage made with real pickles or spice.
Can you do a Trump impersonation at all?
Taste the difference today.
I've got some people around me, and they don't like Trump, but they do a pretty good impersonation of him.
Not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values.
Boy, his son, Don Jr., can do a pretty good one.
Your phone.
Yeah, that is true.
Whenever I think it was Charlie Kirk's impersonation or somewhere, but I saw him make a speech and he started doing it right in front of Donald. I was like, whoa.
Got you covered on the same.
It was funny.
Works you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? Our country's greatest breakthroughs were born from bold ideas and the ability to take one small step forward. At Americans for Prosperity, freedom and opportunity find their defenders. Because our country's next giant leap is just around the corner. Are you ready to step up?
For more information, go to takeonesmallstep.com. Hey, the live show may be almost over today, but it doesn't have to be for you. As always, enjoy the Voice of Reason with our daily podcast by finding the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser on any of your favorite podcasting sites. Just find us, subscribe, have it automatically downloaded, and listen at your convenience whenever you want to bring some more reason into your day. And a lot of people are doing it. Also, you can always find the video of the show, along with articles, additional commentary, and maybe a few sarcastic remarks by following us on our social media. Stay up to date with everything going on with the show, including upcoming guests, breaking news stories, interesting articles, and maybe some memes. Help us in the ongoing battle with censorship and shadow banning from social media by following us on the social media at Hooser Reason on all of our social media sites. For all these social media links, podcast links, contact information, or just general information of the show, go to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can listen live every day, read our latest monthly blog, find our radio affiliate list, or even listen to our latest infomercials and special content. Plus, you can always reach out to the program by sending me a message on social media, emailing us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com, or sending an email through our website at HooserReason.com. Whether it's content on the show, whether it's a guest that you've liked or disliked, or whether you want to disagree with me, and disagreement's always appreciated. While you're there, make sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter. Each month, you'll get the latest update on the show, updates from the Hooser Media Network, and our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Finally, if you want to help support the show, become a member of our Patreon site and help us fight for the cause of truth, reason, and common sense every day, and get more of the same by becoming the ultimate Hoosierholic. Get additional interviews that sometimes we don't always get to air on the radio. Hear our special segments or even our infomercials before anyone else, and have a chance to chat with other great Hoosierholics from all over. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, you're not only helping the fight for conservative values, you're helping us get more content and information out through the Hooser Media Network. Find out more information online at HooserReason.com. Lastly, follow and support all of our partners with the show. The Voice of Reason has been growing more and more every year, and it's because of so many great partners helping us get the message out to you. From show partners to local radio affiliates in your area to streaming sites, podcasting sites, and more, we have so many supporters and listeners now than ever before, and we want to thank you. It's time to bring back common sense, and we do it right here every day with the Voice of Reason.
Talk radio for the next generation. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Yeah, great to have you back here for the program. One segment left for this hour as we wrap things up. A really fascinating conversation we're having with the U.S. inventor, usinventor.org, Randy Landrino. He's the president and founder of the organization trying to defend people that want to have creations, have inventions, innovate something new, and try to get patents. As shockingly, Obama administration stifling a lot of that and killing it off in his administration. So, Randy, I got to ask you as we talk policy from the last break, now is the opportunity? Is it the opportunity right now in order to make some of these changes as we go after big healthcare and big insurance and big pharma and big tech? Are we starting to see the opportunity now to actually give these small inventors a voice again?
Absolutely. Great point. Now is the best time we've had in decades. And the Trump administration they've done a couple things that are extremely helpful to us. For one, see, here's the problem you have. Most presidents are not rich enough, wealthy enough to run on their own income, right?
Right.
Most presidents have to take a lot of money from a lot of sources, and some of that comes from big tech, and that it becomes a problem because the president appoints the director of the patent office, and the director of the patent office has so much power over this issue, especially this administrative court that's so terrible that I was telling you about. In fact, Obama appointed as the director of the patent office, the former head of patent strategy at Google.
Right.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Now, Trump has done the opposite. President Trump has appointed someone who's great for us. His name is John Squires. He's doing an unbelievable job. Big tech is going nuts over what John Squires is doing, and it's helping the little guy, and it's great, and it's fabulous. But here's the thing: the next president will definitely, almost definitely, appoint a new director of the patent office. And what we see now that President Trump has done to help bring manufacturing back and to help small business and all that, that's so great for that and needed for this country, that could all change with the next president, even if it's somebody we like in other issues. So that's why we have to get legislation passed. Because what we have now that President Trump has done is temporary unless we get good legislation passed, and we're working very hard on that. There are actually two bills that we're behind. One's called the Restoring America's Leadership and Innovation Act, and one's called Balancing Incentives Act. Thomas Massey is the lead on the first one, and Marcy Kaptur is the Democratic co-lead on it, and Marcy Kaptur is the lead on the second one and the Democratic co-lead on the other. Thomas Massey is the co-lead on the other. So,
okay.
By the way, Thomas Massey, and I know we wish were in better.
Yes.
We wish he and Trump were doing better than they are.
Yes. That's right. Yeah, I mean, look, they agree on just about everything. You know, the little squabbling is a little ridiculous. From a political side, we talk about that quite a bit and say we need to start getting along because we can work on a lot of great stuff, along with Senator Rand Paul on the other side of the chamber as well. Like, we have some great opportunity here. We just need to calm down the back and forth and the bickering, but it's a little ridiculous. Randy, last question for you. We have just a couple minutes left here, and I love the conversation. I appreciate this. Where do you think the future goes with technology as we focus on data centers? We focus on artificial intelligence, the Trump administration really wanting to beat China on this new technology. If we allow new innovation and new inventors to really have a louder voice in this, where do you think we could be going in the next decade or so when it comes to technology?
I think the answer for all of our innovation needs, whether it's artificial intelligence, et cetera, it really boils down to really incentivizing real innovation, which is restoring effective patent rights to the little guy, because the little guys and gals are the ones that are going to come up with these solutions we need in every part of life. And the big corporations that are trying to hold on to what they have, they're going to tend to hold on to whatever they have, which isn't going to be the best and the newest and what's needed. And other countries haven't done to their systems what we've done. So they actually will get ahead of us in all these areas unless we actually do restore the rights of actual inventors in America. And that's why it's so important for your listeners to go to usinventor.org and sign our inventor rights resolution. You'll be part of this key effort for America to restore the rights of inventors that have been so important to this country.
It's incredible. I love it. We need to get that voice back. We want to be the head of the innovation. We want these individuals. I mean, that's the American dream, right? To have that idea to come out and for people to enjoy it and for the consumer to take it to another level and for us to continue to make our technology, our equipment more efficient as time goes on with what we have available. It is US Inventor, usinventor.org. Go and check out the website. Go sign it. Let's get promotion of innovation in this nation again. Randy, we appreciate it very much, my friend. I love the conversation. Got to get you back on again real soon.
Would love to. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Great stuff. Again, Randy Landreneau, he's the president of usinventor.org. Go to the website, usinventor.org, sign the petition, and fight for people that are trying to innovate new technology in society. Let's not fall behind the places where they have nice, cushy toilets that warm your you-know-what and serenade you as you do your business. But we'll do that again here soon. We're out of time. We'll be back at it before you know it. Until then, be your own voice of reason. Be that catalyst for change. It is the Voice of Reason. I'm Andy Hooser. We'll see you on the radio. Bye.
You think we should do it next week?
Sure. You know, when I get off the air every day.
All right, then I will talk to you then, and have yourself a good one.
Content is far from over.
Have a good one. We'll talk soon.
All right, talk to you then.
The network is giving you more opportunities.